Pflug has a very important line. He tells Mabel, the billionaires paid a lot to get that finger. Who did they pay? Did the billionaires pay a lot because they bought off the mayor? Is it the mayor's finger? Did they pay a lot because they paid somebody else in the Arconia, like Randall or Althea, to get the ring for them? Lester the robot wouldn't receive cash if he did a task. Who did the billionaires pay for the finger? Whose finger is it? We are so close, but maybe we're going to have to bet on who the killer is. And I know a great place to make that bet, the Camila Club. It's perfect, right in Upper West Side Manhattan. Let's solve Only Murders in the Building, Season 5, Episode 7, Silver Alert. The mayor warns the trio about the billionaires, sending them to investigate further at a villainous lair upstate, as Oliver boots it in an attempted escape. I break down each episode for clues, suspects, red herrings, dog poisoners, on the hunt to learn who killed Lester, who killed Nicky the Neck, whose finger is it anyway, who did it? We're at episode 7, 70% of the way through the season, we've got to do it. Plus, at the end of this podcast, I'll be talking about yet more promotional videos which have come out on YouTube and Instagram, which have a couple of shots, not too spoilery, from upcoming episodes, but again, that'll be at the end of the podcast. Spoilers up to Season 5, Episode 7 of Only Murders in the Building. If you haven't seen all those episodes, pause this video, tell the Muppets to stop arguing, and come back and watch. Use the timestamp below to jump to the topic or subject that you'd like to listen to, and skip past things that don't interest you as much. For everyone who likes post-show podcasts, recapping and reviewing and discussing big episodes, here on our channel we're covering Season 5 of Slow Horses. The Slough House crew is covering those slow horses and the dangerous deeds that are happening in jolly old England. Let's look at the credit clues. Little Algernon is in all of the windows. This is the creepiest. Mabel turns on her lamp and there he is behind her. Plus, he's there waiting for Howard. Algernon, time to go to the cellar. In the closing credits, we see Oliver's cowboy boots, Bash's Greatness Academy audio series, plus a mock-up of the Arconia as the Camila Club. Let's have some top suspect talk. For those of you paying close attention through the first 6 episodes of Season 5, you can probably tell that I've had 2 relatively main suspects. Althea, why have I always suspected her? Well, she fits the profile of Poppy, of Marshall. In some ways, she fits the profile of Cliff. All 3 are young adults. They have dreams of success in entertainment, whether it's podcasting, screenwriting, music. They're willing to kill for their dream. And then in episode 4 of Season 5, we have Vince Fish talk about the birds. And he says, okay, this bird is like this. And he says, because of that bird description, Vince links that bird to Bash. He says, oh, here's this bird, the brown cowbird, and because of its characteristics, it probably goes with Nicky the Neck. However, Vince did not give a description of the Eurasian jay. He just said, okay, Eurasian jay, Pflug. So if I were writing a mystery, that would kind of be a hint. Well, why didn't he say the description of the Eurasian jay? He just went J. And then you look up the description of the Eurasian jay. It does have this pink coloring. Althea's always in pink. Yet I don't have a motive of why she would kill anybody, why she would be invited to a top secret poker match. And then there's this great feedback from Blue Pen Quinn, who's a great listener, great member of the Clue Crew. They wrote, why would someone need to delete V walking around investigating a light she saw under Charles's door? And this is a brilliant question. Althea, she told the podcast trio, hey, I went to Charles's apartment. I saw a light. So she told them she did it. Then the robot is erasing her from doing it? Doesn't seem too likely, so that implies that she's not the killer, right? Or did the robot erase her going into the apartment and she's just saying she went to check out the apartment because there's a chance that a human being saw her on that floor in that hallway? So I'm suspecting Althea, kind of for no reason other than I'm profiling her and she fits the profile of Only Murders in the Building killers. Let's look at my other top suspect, which is even crazier. My other big suspect, which you could probably tell if you're paying attention, is Lester the robot. Why do I suspect the robot? Well, again, this goes to Detective Williams noting, boy, whoever cleaned up in here, it must be on the Arconia staff. And I just have a hard time seeing the show, which is having a theme this season of new New York versus old New York, creating a murderer from old New York characters like Miller, the garbage man, or Ursula, the old building manager. This show had a similar theme back in season 2, when Nina was going to build that crazy new design on top of the Arconia. And the show not so subtly said, that's ridiculous. Keep the classic old New York look of the Arconia. They've got to be doing the same thing now. So unless a billionaire is paying one of these old New Yorkers something, I just don't see them being the killer. And so I've been looking at the robot a lot. I assumed he's the one who cleaned up the velvet room, so clean that Detective Williams thought she could eat off it. The robot once again represents the new. The new would theoretically be the villain, I'm assuming. I got this feedback from Gloria, who said, I think the black mark in front of Charles's refrigerator might be from Lester, the robot. And I wrote back to Gloria saying, I had the exact same thought during episode 6. It actually looks more like a robot wheel scuff than it would be a scuff from a shoe. And I didn't mention it in the video on episode 6 just because it was so self-consciously giving Mabel those pink shoes, and a shoe would make a scuff mark. I thought they were pointing it at the pink shoes, pointing at Althea, my other suspect. But again, I'm running into a problem. There isn't a motive for a robot to kill Nicky the Neck or Lester. Lester is running away from his pursuer rather slowly. Like whoever is chasing him is slow, like Lester, the robot probably was slow. But again, the robot would have to be programmed by somebody. Who would be programming it? So I don't have a motive. So I'm looking myself in the mirror and saying my 2 top suspects, I don't have a motive for either of them. And then I look at your votes. I always mention to have this poll up with over 700 votes, and you guys picked the mayor, and to a lesser extent, because she's with the mayor in the poll, Romy. They could have a motive. There is a motion to get a casino in New York City. If it's revealed that the mayor was already gambling in a casino in New York City, or had a vested interest in creating one in the Arconia, this would be a huge scandal. Now, I've held off on suspecting the mayor for the longest time, but he's in the show for some reason, right? And in real life, New York City's mayors have been involved in all sorts of scandals, as I've pointed out plenty of times, including my season 5 trailer breakdown. The billionaires have to be top suspects, and unlike everybody else, the billionaires have physical evidence pointing them to being the killers. Nicky had freezer burn marks on him. Bash has that cryo chamber in his house. If Nicky was put in that cryo chamber, all the blood in his dead body would rush to his feet, like we saw blood on his feet during Mabel's autopsy. Nicky had a white mark on his coat sleeve. Charles said it smelled like paint. Camila is painting everything her white cream color. So even though that feels like a terrible answer, the billionaires are in on it. Do we need to bring back up the everybody did it scenario? Now, the final suspect that the Clue crew is sending me a lot of feedback pointing the finger at them is Russell. And again, Russell being part of the old New York by being a doorman, I've been hesitant to go there. I just don't see it. I have a hard time kind of creating a motive, but there is this great feedback I received. From Megan, she said, when you look at the infamous trash picture of Lester, she wrote, I think there's a string in the middle of the trash face, and maybe this is from Randall's upright bass he was playing at the wedding, the night of the wedding. That would be an amazing clue. Of course, some people point out that if you watch Oliver's Wedding in episode 10, we only see a DJ, we never see a band. Who knows? What do you guys think? Who is the top suspect? We're 70% of the way through. We've got to get a top suspect. Go down in the comments, let me know your top suspect. I know it is frustrating to hear YouTube hosts always say, please subscribe, like, and comment. But I'm trying to be honest. Putting these videos together is an awful lot of work. Every time I get a view, every time I get a new subscriber, it's really rewarding. And apparently 70% of the viewers aren't subscribed. Do me a favor, please subscribe. Audio podcast, you've got to subscribe there as well. If you're on Spotify, you can leave a written review. You can review the entire podcast feed on Apple Podcast. Reach out to us on social media at PHQ, the word double, the single letter P for podcast, HQ for headquarters at PHQ. You can email because I want to hear your great thoughts. Before we run down the suspects, let's see what episode 7 taught us about the victims, and really the only thing about the victim was the finger. Yet, let's look at Nicky the Neck just for a second. His wife Sophia keeps mentioning he was having money trouble. They were having money trouble. Yet he had billionaires gambling at the casino. How is this possible? He was giving envelopes of cash to Lester. What were the money problems? The finger. Once again, the billionaires paid big to get the finger, which implies they didn't go to Charles Freezer to get it, or possibly they paid big because they bought off the New York City mayor. This could just be suggestive, but as I showed before, there is something going on with the mayor's left hand. And let's get to the mayor as we look at the suspects. Mayor Tillman. He's wanted to be interviewed on the podcast. He gets his interview. He keeps asking for an interview. Does that mean he's involved in Lester the doorman's death too? The mayor uses a very poor choice of words when he says, yeah, I want to chop it up when talking for the podcast. He claims he wants to make the streets safer. Would killing a mobster like Nicky the Neck make it safer? The mayor is so shady. He knows about the 1-to-5 sale. As soon as Romy leaves, the mayor calls Bash the killer. The mayor also claims he hasn't made good on any of his campaign promises. Did the mayor promise to open a casino in New York City? Romy. We're told Romy is Bash's niece, but Romy looks very similar in coloring and just genes to Algernon. Is it possible that Romy is one of Bash's children, since she does look so similar to Algernon, rather than a niece? There must be something shady with Romy because she hugs Charles when Loretta won it. Quickly, let's talk about the billionaires as a group. They're playing these board games like Operation, Yahtzee. They're playing for a trophy from Walgreens, but they're really playing for the finger. And the winner gets a development contract for New York City's first casino. Camila says it would make money. Bash says it would generate power. And Jay says it would make your name synonymous with New York City history, like the Rockefellers. The billionaires allow the podcast trio to escape very slowly, so they aren't really that concerned. Now let's go into them individually. Camila, she has a gun. She wants to turn the Arconia into the Camila Club. She has an idea for quiet slots. Camila is very vain. She believes that her transformation of Oliver's terrible purple apartment into his cream white apartment made someone give him a great offer. In this episode, Bash's compound is supposed to be in Connecticut. But what's interesting is when we met Camila White, she said that her family was from Reno, a casino magnate, and a showgirl. The moment I turned 18, I moved to Connecticut. Is that a clue? Is this really Camila's house, not Bash's? Are they a couple? Algernon. Algernon is a little boy. He's very obsessed with skin, but he does not want to interrupt anybody and get sent to the cellar. He loves to swim, and he has a digestion problem, which the bark of this tree apparently helps him with. Bash Steed. Bash's compound, this mansion, does have that freezing chamber, that cryo chamber. He has LED masks everywhere, and possibly the creepiest thing, he's friends with Sarah Jessica Parker. Bash believes you gotta take bold risks to strike gold. And maybe this is a bold risk. He gave Mayor Tillman on his first campaign a lot of money. He donates big to the NYPD. Bash loves knives. We saw Bash with the meat cleaver earlier. Here we see him sharpening another knife. Bash said he wasn't able to pay attention to his other kids. Was Romy one of his other kids? Was maybe some crazy way Althea one of his kids? Could Randall be one of his kids? Could the kids that Lorraine rolled into the Arconia be his kids? Bash admits he manipulates the footage in Lester the Robot. He says, I don't want anyone to know my comings and goings. Bash's plan for a casino in New York City, according to Camila, is a spaceship above Times Square in the M&M store. Jay Pflug. Jay's plan for a casino would be in an old YMCA. Jay apparently has been texting Mabel. She hasn't been responding. No means no, dude. Creepy. Jay admits there was a bet on the night Lester died. That bet, we believe, is for the casino and the finger. Oliver Putnam. There's not much to say about Oliver other than when the people on the farm thought he was senile. I loved it. It does sound crazy. And those boots are made for walking around in Connecticut. R.I.P. Linda Lavin. Charles Hayden Savage. Charles never got a straight answer from Bash if he was the one catfishing him. Mabel Mora. Mabel did not wear her new pink boots out. I have not had a tinfoil hat theory in a while, so let's pull one out. And maybe this is tinfoil, but also it kind of fits. Lester tells Nicky the Neck he doesn't want to work on Saturday. He wants to attend the wedding. Nicky the Neck, who feels so guilty about making Lester work on his anniversary, is like, sure. Nicky tells the Billionaires, hey, we can't do it this Saturday. The Billionaires are like, we have to do it this Saturday. The mayor's coming. Nicky says, I don't have a doorman. Bash Steed says, oh, my robot can do it. It's fine. So they have the robot go. Nicky finds Lester at the wedding and offers him some cash and says, listen, I want you to drop by later tonight. A robot's supposed to be the doorman, but I don't trust it. I want you to check in on it. Meanwhile, that night, the three billionaires and the mayor are down in the casino and they're gambling for the right to open a casino in New York City. One of the billionaires or the mayor gets hungry and they're like, hey, robot, can you bring us some food? The robot goes and grabs one of the shrimp trays that are meant for Oliver's wedding. The billionaires are eating Oliver's shrimp when Lester, the human doorman, comes down. It's like, wait, you can't eat that. Stop them. The robot tries to stop them, chops off the mayor's finger. In the melee that happens, Nicky the Neck tries to defend Lester, the human doorman, gets in trouble. The robot stabs him with a meat cleaver. In all this craziness, Lester the human runs away. Who should he call? It's the mayor. Can he say anything? He gets chased by the robot. The robot grabs the elevator crank, hits him. Lester falls in. In all this craziness, the mayor's finger disappears. The mayor can't be found at a crime scene, so the billionaires tell him, don't worry, we'll clean it up. We'll hide Nicky the Neck's body for a couple of weeks, and we'll make Lester's death look like an accident. Meanwhile, in all this melee, the mayor's finger is missing. Bash tells him, hey, I'll give you a replacement finger until we can find your real finger. The mayor says, whoever finds my real finger and can attach it will be given the casino rights in New York City. The finger ends up back on Oliver's shrimp tray. Now, in this scenario, I'm having Lester the robot killing Nicky the Neck and bashing Lester's head with the elevator crank. That doesn't make too much sense. How do you guys put this piece together? Give me a tinfoil hat theory that works for what we know. Write it down in the comments on social media at PPHQ. Okay, let's get to some spoilers. These are two promotional videos, one released on Instagram, one on YouTube. They have a couple of things that are a bit spoilery. There's a image of a page of script, which I believe is from episode 8. And so I'm just going to read out what the script says. I don't think it's that big a spoiler for episode 8, but please jump away if you're not interested to the feedback section. On the script, Detective Williams says, you two spent boys' night gabbing about ladies, so zip it. Charles responds, turns out Detective Williams is the best therapist I ever had. Detective Williams replies, you were just ready to hear it. I've been telling you what's wrong with you since day one. For real, I'm sorry about your home. Wish there was something I could do. A sad moment. Oliver looks to brush it off. Well, hopefully Loretta's downstairs eliciting a murderer's confession via spirit, fairy, and the Holy Ghost. Then Loretta enters and slashes her throat. I didn't get a murderer's confession. Everyone sighs, disappointed. I couldn't make out the rest of the script. If you can, leave it down in the comments for everybody else to enjoy. There are a couple of other shots, this cleaver going down. If you look at the hand that is holding the meat cleaver, it appears to be a white person's hand. There does appear to be a pinky ring on this hand. But the big thing about this shot is there's already a cut in the table. So I don't think this is the original slash of the meat cleaver, which may have taken off somebody's finger. I assume this is a reenactment. But you guys tell me, do you recognize that ring? Mabel and Althea hugging with Vince Fish kind of shocked in the background. Here's a shot which I believe would be from the finale of many characters in the casino. You see some billionaires, you see Miller the trash guy. Could this be the killer reveal? Now let's get to your feedback. Nahelena wrote, I'm just not feeling this season. And Family Adventure Days wrote, "This season is a mess. Too many characters all over the place, no real structure." I read this feedback because I'm worried there might be other members of the Clue crew who feel this season is a little scattershot. There is so much going on, there hasn't been a real focus. I still think the best format of the show has been season 1, where there was a Who Killed Tim Kono, but there was also a previous mystery in the past of, hey, what happened to Zoe, that filled out 10 episodes where you kind of knew where to focus. What do you guys think? I still think this season's been an awful lot of fun. If you've enjoyed it, go down in the comments and let me know too. A great member of the Clue crew, Caro Joso, wrote, "I am clueless about who the murderer is, but now I'm wondering if Seth Rogen and Lady Gaga are going to cameo. Please, let's see Seth Rogen. Let's check if he has all his figures. Please." Mummy to Bob wrote, "I think the bird call was definitely more to identify the killer, as Lester equates people to birds. I doubt it would be to call someone, as bird calls aren't overly loud. He was outside, and it's New York City, which can be noisy. Would people hear it unless they were in close proximity?" That's great feedback, and then listen to what Felicia gave feedback on. She wrote, "The bird whistle looks like a scarlet macaw. Those birds are known for their loud squawks. They form lifelong pair bonds, and they mimic sounds. They're intelligent, and they can live for decades. I believe it might be a hint as to who the fifth bird is." Felicia continues, "I also believe that if Oliver didn't show Camilla the picture of him and Loretta, the fire would not have started. Loretta was someone that the billionaires had information on, and the fire might have been to either hide a piece of evidence or force her to stay with Oliver, or distract Oliver from investigating." Great feedback. I love that, Felicia. Then following up on that, Crockett Meow wrote, "Do you think the realtor who was showing Lorraine's place was the arsonist, and he was coughing so much because he inhaled smoke from the fire?" Whew, this is great. Again, I haven't been watching the official podcast. I've been so busy. I'm about to head to Chicago this weekend. If anybody's in Chicago, tell me what you're doing. I'm going to be Magnificent Mile. I'm going to that the Magic Parlor Friday night. Reach out to me. But anyway, Blue Pen Quinn, again, great feedback. He wrote, "You need to watch the official podcast. After episode 6, the official podcast had Bernardo, the PA, who disclosed that he wrote a spec script featuring Howard, Uma, and Vince investigating a murder that took place in adjacent to the building. And the trio wouldn't investigate it because it didn't happen in the building. What a spin-off that would be." And Blue Pen ends up saying, "Personally, I think those three would drive each other nuts before they could solve it." Oh man, Howard, Uma, and Vince on their own show? Let's roll. Next week, we've got Season 5, Episode 8, Cuckoo Chicks. Mabel gathers a ragtag group to crash an exclusive ladies' night. While trying to save the Arconia from being sold, Charles and Oliver accidentally end up in couples therapy. You have made it to the end of the video. The secret phrase is Bash's naughty naughty. So please leave that in the comment to let me know you made it to the end. Are you excited? 3 episodes left. This thing has gotta come together. Who is your top suspect? I'll talk to you next week.